Good evening, Neil and Rob. I'd like to use this time to talk a little bit more in detail about the recorded Foley. It's a little bit. This podcast is updated since the last one, since I've recorded a little bit extra to sound, so it sounds as if we're with the character walking through the hospital, and it sounds as if we're actually there with him with the new recorded sounds. And the sounds that have been added in and recorded are, the first one is the crunch of the wilted flower. This is the first one that comes in, and this way Rick is in bed, he looks to his left and he sees the flowers that have gone dead and dry, and you can see him as he grabs one and he crunches it in his hand, and we've got that in there. And for me to do that, I used my iPhone to record the sound. I grabbed a piece of paper and just scrumpled it up as if that was the flower. It panned out to be really effective for what the visual was doing. The second recorded piece of Foley is the stretcher that was blocking the door, and Rick has to physically push for it to unblock his path. And to do this, firstly, I just grabbed my computer chair, which has wheels on it, and I used my iPhone again to record the sound of when it moved. But it was really hard to capture the sound of the chair, so I was a bit stumped for a while to get the right sound for that movement. And I came up with a few ideas. I tried moving the chair on carpet, it didn't work. I tried moving the chair on a hard floor, it didn't work. It was too much echo, it just sounded rumbly, it didn't sound the way I wanted it to sound. But eventually then I experimented, and I used a AA battery and rolled that along a table surface, and it sounded perfect for exactly what I wanted. And I used a little bit of reverb for it to sound in place, and it sounds great with the visual. It's as if that's the sound of the moving stretcher. Third recorded piece of Foley is the zombies. That was already in place, but still was recorded with the SM58. And then the fourth piece of recorded Foley is the tapping on the elevator. That's where he rushes through double doors and he sees the elevator and taps it quickly 4 times. And to do that, I just tapped the wall and I used my iPhone to capture that, and it sounds great with a little bit of reverb and a bit of compression. It sounds well in place, and it's nice in the mixture. And with all the Foley that I've used, I've brought to the surface to sound as if we're there with him. Let's talk. I'm going to use this bit more time to talk about more of the Foley that's in place. Logic was really helpful for most of it, and if it wasn't on Logic, I recorded it. On Logic, I've used the police car, the gunfire, the hospital sounds, the hospital heart monitor, the fall impact for when he gets out of bed the first time and he grabs onto that drip stand and he falls. That fall impact is there. His footsteps for when he walks out the door, and for when he walks down the steps. For when he goes to the desk and he picks up the phone, that dead phone line is there, the beeps that was used on Logic. The rustling for when he moves all the paperwork before he grabs a match. That rustling is actually the rustling of clothes. I couldn't actually get rustling of paper on Logic, so I used rustling of clothes, and there's a few paper Foley sounds on Logic, but not enough to sound as if there was a lot of paper moving. So to do that, I use the rustling of clothes and paper together, and it sounds much fuller for what we need. And underneath, say the end half of the film, there's a dark drone underneath everything, so there won't be a moment of silence, because this drone will always be there. I think the only silence element we got is where Rick finally opens that fire exit and there's sunlight. That's the only element of silence, I believe. To add some spookiness, I used there's a more of a, it's not a sound effect, but it's like a jingle. It's like a spooky swipe. I mentioned it in the first podcast, and the actual name of it is a Titus clan, and it's a scary swipe. That's on logic. There's a few swipes and sound mysterious and horrible, and it sounds natural, and it sounds, as you hear it and it fades away, you think something spooky is going to happen, and it doesn't happen, which is why it's so great. And that's all the foley for my clip. Thank you.